So we were looking at Joshua, the book of Joshua, and I can't resist but talk a little more about Joshua because it's one of the stories that has really made an impact on me. As I was saying in the previous video, Joshua has just taken over leadership as Moses has passed away, and now he was planning to follow God's lead and lead the people finally into the promised land. And he and the people have camped out on one side of the Jordan River, and across the Jordan River is the land that God had promised them. Unfortunately, in their eyes, the land was inhabited, and they were worried and nervous about crossing the river into this inhabited land. But God was promising to be with them and to be faithful. And he, when Moses led the people out of Egypt, they were incredibly afraid and worried, and he used the staff. God had him use the staff to part the sea, and they walked across the Red Sea on dry land. And so that was just a picture of God supporting them and saying, even when you're up against the wall, the enemy is coming and you feel trapped, I can make a way where there's no way. And so in this situation, it's a similar story, but this time it's slightly different. And I really love that. And this is why I named my son Jordan. So in chapter 3, it talks about it. Starting in verse 13, Joshua is telling the plan to the people of how they're going to cross into the promised land. He says, this is chapter 3, verse 13 to 16. The priests will carry the ark of the Lord of all the earth. As soon as their feet touch the water, the flow of the water will be cut off upstream, and the river will stand up like a wall. So the people, excuse me, the people left their camp to cross the Jordan, and the priests who were carrying the Ark of the Covenant went ahead of them. It was harvest season, and the Jordan was overflowing its banks. But as soon as the feet of the priests who were carrying the ark touched the water at the river's edge, the water above that point began backing up at a great distance away from at a town called Adam, which is near Zarethan, and the water below that point flowed out onto the Dead Sea until the riverbed was dry. Then all the people crossed over near the town of Jericho. And what's different and awesome to me about this verse in this situation is that instead of putting the staff into the water and clearing the path, this time they were asked to take a step of faith. It says that as soon as their feet touch the water, then the flow of the water would be cut off. And it talks about, as soon as the feet of the priests that were carrying the Ark of the Covenant. So basically, God called them to step out in faith and to say, okay, this water is rushing by, and across this water over there is the promised land, is the place that God has for me. But he doesn't want me to just sit here and wait until there's a nice, the water calms down and there's a nice, easy path to get over there. He wants me to take a step into that rushing water and believe that he is going to be faithful and true to his word and make a way. Now, they knew that God had done it before, but it had been a while, 40 years. And so I'm sure most of them probably, none of them were there, I guess, because all the ones who were there originally had died, and this is the next generation. So they'd heard the stories, and now here they are getting ready to step out in faith. And so I love that picture of stepping out in faith into the Jordan River, into the plans that God had for them, the promised land that he had for them. And there were still obstacles in their way, but God is faithful and good and led the way. And so for me, that has been an inspiring story to also sometimes take a step out and take a couple of steps to see if God will make a way when I feel like there's no way. And that has led me on many exciting and amazing journeys in my life and continues to. And that's why I named my son Jordan, because I love that picture and that reminder of what can happen when we choose to have faith and step out in faith and see what God can do miraculously in our lives, through our lives, and around us for his glory. And then people know it wasn't me. It was God at work. It couldn't have been me. I couldn't have done it. He had to do it on my behalf. And I'm so thankful for those times when I have done that and been able to see God at work. It makes me feel so loved and so just filled with joy to know that my God knows me and that he wants to make a way for me when I choose to follow him in faith. So I hope that you would also be encouraged, that if there's something God is calling you to and you just don't see a way, believe that if you can take a step in faith, he might open up a way that you don't even know is there. So I hope you're all having a good day. Bye.